all day.
Well, DeLon Thompson last week did a really good job establishing the running game. 184 total yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. So try to avoid the second and third and long situations. Sacramento has 3 of the top 10 sackers in the Big Sky this year. So again, try to stay out of those second and third long situations if you're the Vikings.
Keys to the game brought to you by Jeremiah Johnson Brewing. Do well. Vikings won the toss, deferred. Sacramento State receiving and defending the west end zone. A hopping kick taken at the 17-yard line, but whistle stop play. Apparently a fair catch called by Sacramento State, and they will go to work on offense from their own 25-yard line to start play. The new quarterback in town out of Houston, Texas is Cardell Williams. He did not start the season as the starting quarterback, took over week 3, and that's when things really started clicking offensively for this team.
Yeah, he's that dual threat. He can get out of the pocket, make things happen with his feet. Pretty good passer as well. Again, an aberration last week. We're only through for 15 yards, but the conditions up in Cheney last week dictated that more they're going to establish the running game. But again, that dual threat, very good athlete at the quarterback position.
Impact Players brought to you by Mr. Plywood. 4 different running backs carry the ball on a week-to-week basis. They'll start in a pistol formation, and one of those running backs coming off a huge week last week, that's Rodney Hammond Jr., who barrels straight up the middle for a 9-yard gain on first down.
Well, that's what you like to see if you're Sacramento State. He had over 200 yards last week, just a monster first half, and a big reason why they got out to the big early lead up in Cheney.
No huddle as the Hornets come to the line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line, and Hammond gets the carry again, this time stuffed by the safety Isaiah Green, but he picked up enough for the first down, gaining 2 yards out to the 28-yard line.
Well, that's one thing you don't want to see if you're the Vikings is Green coming up and making a lot of tackles. Pretty good job coming up, making the stick right near the line of scrimmage, but still able to pick up the first down.
Green, the leading tackler for Portland State this year out of his safety position. First down and 10. Hornets offset formation with the quarterback in shotgun. Wide receiver going in motion on first down and 10. Flag comes out at the snap. Looks like a formation penalty. Either that or the Vikings were lined up offside. We'll wait for the assessment of the foul. Meanwhile, the positive gain on the ground, 6 yards for Hammond out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, looks like an illegal motion. Most of the time, the side judge throws that flag. It's going to be either lining up in the neutral zone or somebody leaving early, or, like you said, the illegal formation. So march it 5 yards back, make it first and 15.
The 23-yard line. Sacramento State has battled penalty issues all season long, but coming off a season best, just 3 penalties for 15 yards last week against Eastern Washington. That came after some comments by the head coach. Hit his wallet, courtesy of the Big Sky. We'll talk more about that later. This time the Vikings are there to pile up Hammond after a short gain to the 25-yard line.
Hammond on the carry.
Picked up second down.
Jerome Roberts.
13 to go. First one there. Jerome Roberts getting the start of the strong side linebacker position. And Henry Ampasta today, the redshirt sophomore, out with an injury for the Vikings. Jackson Helmstetler, the other starting linebacker. So second down and long. And the Vikings again looking to force Sacramento State into more passing downs. Jaquale Smith, the back in motion. They give us to Damian Henderson. Slides past one tackle, undercut, and he lunges forward to the 30-yard line. That was Helmstetler that went low on the hit.
Damian Henderson, the second on the carry.
You have Hammond, you have Henderson, you also have the freshman Jaquale Smith, and also the senior
And
Sam
they're
Adams,
running it on the
second.
top.
So again, a deep, stable running back for the Hornets.
We'll also bring a fullback out there from time to time. Sammy Norris, a big dude at 6 foot 262. Third and long, but they keep it on the ground, and there goes Henderson, rambling down to the 45-yard line before he is cut down after a big gain.
Well, that time it's confidence they have in the running game. 3rd and 9, obvious passing situation, but still just a little left tackle play on the left side, just fires right through their big hole up the left side, gets all the way up to the own 48-yard line. So again, establishing the running game and a good job again, the offensive line open up the holes.
Deontay Thornton getting the start at cornerback over to make the saving tackle, and they'll mark him down at the 48-yard line after a gain of 18 yards. Another first down for the Hornets. This time a little trickery as a little shovel pass to the man in motion, and into Vikings territory they go. The recipient of that shovel pass, Jaquale Smith, the smaller
Correction, Jaquale Smith on the carry.
Spencer Early had a chance to possibly bring him down near the line of scrimmage, but again, Jaquale Smith, the freshman, a
Here's
little bit too
Walker,
quick,
gets
gets to
him
the
out of
outside,
bounds.
able to turn the corner, finally pushed out of bounds, still able to pick up 8 into Viking territory.
Well, you saw 6 passes last week by Cardell Williams in the wind and rain, but most of those passes were the safe variety like that last one. And trying to make a cut Losing his balance was Smith, but he had picked up
Smith
the
on
first
the
down
carry.
before he tripped himself up at the
Tripped up by
42-yard
Green.
line.
Yeah, once he got past the
Hornets
first down
first
marker,
down.
also he just kind of lost his balance, fell down to the ground, but still enough to pick up the first down. So again, nice drive going for the Hornets and eating up a little bit of clock as well.
The march continues. You got 4 seniors among the 5 starting offensive linemen for this team, paving the way for that stable of backs. And this time the handoff goes to Hammond, straight up the middle again, and unable to twist out of the tackle of Green. Not a good first down gain of 6 yards.
Green doesn't bring him down. It's probably going to be 6. Another nice hold to the right side. Green comes up, just hangs on for
Isaiah
dear
Green
life.
with the
With an
tackle.
ankle tackle on the play, but if he breaks that one, probably going to be 6.
Well, great rhythm and pace to this offense. Now they'll bunch 4 receivers out to the left side. And this is an interesting looking play. It's a direct snap to the running back Hammond as Cornell Williams, the quarterback, left the
Hammond
formation.
on the carry.
Takes it down near
Spencer
the first down.
Elliott with the
Will be
tackle.
first down at the Viking 32-yard line.
Yeah, they run a diamond stack, and then to the left side, they send Williams and most on the left side, so it's a direct snap from
It's
Hammond,
good
just
for
try
Hornet first
to
down.
outnumber the Vikings. The Vikings, not a bad job of stacking, but still enough to be able to pick up the first down.
Now we see the fullback out there, Sammy Norris, 6 feet, 262 pounds, a transfer from UNLV. The back is Hammond. Wide receivers yet to get into the action. Ernest Campbell, the speed demon, split out to the right side. And off to the left, Ontario Smith. Actually, that's Jordan Anderson. And this time the Vikings are ready for this play. Again, Green in there on the tackle.
Hammond on the
Alongside
carry.
Jaden Brennan, the defensive end, and that's just a 1-yard gain for Hammond.
Daniel
Well, maybe the first time
McCubbin,
we've
first
seen
man to hit
the
him.
Vikings right at the line of scrimmage, point of contact, come up, make the stick, were able to pick up maybe about a half yard, so a better job of the Vikings to be able to get through there and make the tackle.
5 minutes have elapsed on this game-opening drive for Sacramento State. 4 down linemen for Portland State, and the run up the middle. Another hole for Henderson, fights through first contact, and he leans into the 25-yard line to pick up a 6
David
yards.
Henderson on the carry.
And about 4 yards to go.
Isaiah
Robertson
Green
come
with
up
the
to make
stop.
the tackle, but still nice gain up the middle and very makeable third down situation. Have not thrown the ball once so far on this drive, so again eating up a lot of clock, but just going right through the Viking defense.
Only the second third down of the drive. They converted on 3rd and 8 with a 19-yard run earlier in the drive. Ellis remains in at fullback. Henderson, the deep back. As Williams awaits the snap, another run up the middle, and he fights through every tackle. He's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Sacramento State. All on the
Damian
ground in
Henderson.
6 minutes and 3
All the
seconds
way.
as they
Touchdown,
drive it
Sacramento
85
State.
yards on the opening drive.
Just ran right through Pierce Walker, just a simple trap play right up the middle. Walker had a chance to make the tackle. He would have made the first down. He could have possibly saved the touchdown, but again, good blocking through the middle, just bounced off the tackle. So exactly what we wanted for Sacramento State. Didn't even have to throw the ball in the drive, just marched right through the Viking defense for the touchdown.
Former Oregon
Grab
Duck
middle
Benner's on
to
to
attempt
attempt
the
the
extra point.
PAT. The snap is on target. The kick is between the uprights.
Kick is good.
And Sacramento
Hornets
State,
7, Vikings
with an
7.
impressive opening drive, they take a 7-0 lead as Portland State awaits to touch the ball in offense for the first time when we come back. for Sacramento State, capped by a 25-yard touchdown run by Damian Henderson II. And
Deep for the Vikings.
those runs
Number
went straight up the
63,
gut,
Dillon.
Scott.
Number
Yeah,
12,
just
Andre
between the
Miller.
tackles, power football, and this again ran right down the Vikings' throat. This drive was typified on 3rd and 8. They pick up 19 yards, so again, not having to throw the ball once, so a little bit
Taking up the
demoralizing
football
drive.
for the Hornets, number 99, Joseph Fireball.
Right through them.
12 plays on the drive, 11 of them were running plays. The one pass was a little shovel pass to Jaquale Smith. Henderson 4 carries for 54 yards. Really the key play on that drive, an 18-yard run on 3rd down and 8 to keep the chains moving. Joseph Firebaugh is the kickoff man for Sacramento State and gets that kick deep into the end zone for a touchback. So Portland State will start its opening drive at the 25-yard line. We mentioned a miscue on the opening kickoff by Sacramento State, and they started the ball deep in their own territory.
Yeah, it was the case where the ball was kind of kicked short, and Sacramento State players decided who was going to field it. Eventually, Frescas came up, but one of the players signaled fair catch, so they actually had the ball right where he was able to catch it. So, like I said, a little bit mixed up with DeLon Thompson, a little game last week, 184 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's over the 1,000-yard career mark for the Vikings, so see if they can establish him early in this game.
Vikings able to carve some holes for him last week at Cal Poly, and a little cutback after the handoff, and a good gain on 1st down, 5 yards for DeLon Thompson. Really going to be a key to the game, as we mentioned in the pregame show. 1st downs, not putting the Vikings in obvious passing situations where this pass rusher, Sacramento State, that has already accumulated 31 sacks on the season, can pin their ears back. So 2nd down and 5 keeps that Bruce Barnum playbook wide open. And a late surge. Looks like about a 3-yard gain for Thompson on that carry. So 3rd down and 2 coming up for Portland State.
Well, they had really good balance last week. Tokiave and Sakatuateli threw for 252 yards, threw for 260 overall, had over 200 yards on the ground, 500 yards of offense. So it was almost the perfect offensive game plan that you want for Coach Barnum.
Alex Rocha on the deck.
Out of Eva Beach, Hawaii, 1st-year Viking, a transfer from U of H, and we got movement on the line before the snap. Looks like this is going to cost Portland State 5 yards. That's a critical penalty.
5
On the 3rd play of the game, you go from 3rd down, less than 2 yards, to now 3rd down and an obvious passing
I think that's Sean
situation.
Thompson, the left tackle, that just moved a little bit abruptly. I think Xavier Williams, the defensive lineman on the right side, started pointing at him. So I think, yeah, he kind of flinched right before the play.
Starting alongside at left guard for the 2nd straight week, Juan Pacia-Stanton, and very impressive Viking debut. Little razzle-dazzle on a reverse, going to Derek Lavelle, trying to get to the corner, and he's going to be run out of bounds shy of the 1st down marker. Chased down by the cornerback on the opposite side.
Derek Lavelle on the carry for the Vikings.
See where they spot him out. It's just shy of the 33-yard line, and that'll bring on the penalty.
Xavier Williams got the penetration, forced Lavelle a little bit too far out to the outside, where eventually, once he turned the corner, not able to get to the sideline, have enough space. So again, Xavier Williams on the edge did a good job of forcing him to go back a little bit, try to circle around, but not able to pick up the 1st down a couple yards short.
Tony Johnson on to punt the ball away, and now Lee will go back in punt formation, wait the kick. High spiraling punt coming to the near sideline and well out of bounds, so we'll see where they mark it out.
Should be about the 40.
They continue up to the 43-yard line. So not a good kick there by Johnson, and not the way the Vikings wanted to start this game. A long march for a TD for Sac State, 3 and out for PSU. We got timeout on the field with the Hornets leading the Vikings 7-0 on ESPN+. Offense for the 2nd time. We'll take a look at the recent series between these two teams. Portland State, pretty decisive edge all time. Vikings cruising to a win last year. Sacramento State, after 3 consecutive playoff appearances, slipping to 3-9 last season. But they've won 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams. The last prior meeting in 2022, when they went undefeated during the regular season and reached the FCS playoffs under former head coach Troy Taylor. Rodney Hammond with the carry on 1st down, picks up 4 yards out to the 47-yard line. That was just a 25-yard punt before the break by Tony Johnson.
Tripped him up.
And we saw the Hornets benefit from some poor punting by Eastern Washington in the weather. And look at that. Vikings get great penetration Three men there, including Dante Hookfin to meet the ball carrier Hammond for a loss back to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the first time they got penetration with it, able to get Hammond behind the line of scrimmage as he tried to turn to the outside, but just a great job of just flowing through there, making the tackle. Well, he did a nice job of just closing quickly. Now this is what you want. See if you can get it off the field on third down.
Cieli, the first one there on the hit. Third down and 8. Straight drop back for Williams, setting up a screen, and he got blockers and lots of territory. Hammond trying to get to the sideline. Cieli with a saving tackle, chops him out of bounds, just shy of the Viking 25-yard line.
Well, that's what happens when you blitz and hit a perfectly timed screen. Once Hammond caught the ball, just nothing but open territory. Able to get the silent, got the block downfield. Cieli more or less saved the touchdown, knocked him out of bounds, but good play call by Sacramento State on a little dump off screen, and Hammond almost able to take it out.
29 yards on the gain, first down and 10. Williams 2 for 2 through the air so far. The fullback Norris lined up in a wing position. To the left of the quarterback is Damian Henderson the second. He'll not get the carry. It's a play fake. Throw deep, one-on-one matchup, and great coverage down the field by Thornton, sticking right on the hip of Ernest Campbell, the intended receiver.
We got Henderson down on his knees right now, so they're going to tend to him. Good coverage downfield as Campbell's their leading receiver, but again, blanket coverage downfield for the Vikings.
Hard to see what happened to Henderson on that play, but we'll have a stoppage for the injury with 5:30 to go in the opening period. We'll break away. It's the Hornets 7, Portland State Vikings nothing. Fire from the big fullback, 260-pound Sammy Norris. Looked like he got him with a shot in the groin area. And Henderson able to walk off the field rather slowly after that collision. But he's one of 4 talented backs that have carried the ball this year for Sacramento State. So Rodney Hammond Jr. leading the way with 85 yards a gain. Henderson the second leading ball carrier. Yet to see Sam Adams II, the University of Washington transfer. Jaquale Smith, the freshman scat back out of Orlando. Williams, not a bad runner himself when he chooses to. So Smith into the backfield now. We've seen this formation throughout the year for Sacramento State. The backs and quarterbacks side by side. And the handoff goes to Smith, running up the middle, short gain, inside the 25-yard line of Portland State, down to the 24. A third down and long situation for Sacramento State. So these are the situations the Vikings want to force defensively and avoid offensively today.
Well, they're able to convert 2 3rd and similar situations earlier in this game with the run. Then they ran the nice screen pass to Hammond. So see what they try to do here.
Adams into the game now. He's probably the best receiver out of the backfield. 8 catches for 101 yards on the season. Williams back to throw. 4-man Viking rush. Pressure from behind. Sacked! Spencer Elliott with the sack. Actually, that was not Elliott. That was Slade Schufelt, the Hillsborough native, getting into the backfield off the edge.
Well, good speed rush from the outside. Williams is flushed out of the pocket, and right when he's going to look downfield, there's Schufelt coming quickly and able to get it from behind. 49-yard field goal coming up for Sac State.
This will be the longest of the season for Metters. Mentioned a transfer from the University of Oregon, native of Bakersfield. Ball spotted just inside the right hash mark. And the kick is not going to get there. It will barely get to the end zone. So the Vikings, after giving up a long touchdown drive on Sacramento State's first possession, a couple of big plays on second and third down to snuff that drive, and they'll take over at the 31-yard line with 4:08 remaining in the first period, trailing 7-0.
Well, if you're Sacramento State, you're going to have to run the table. Have any chance to make the playoffs. Have 4 losses right now, 2 in Big Sky Conference, so you need to take care of business today. Then they end with Idaho. Cal Davis could come down that last game against Cal Davis for the playoffs. Kind of a big upset loss at home, losing to Cal Poly. Threw 3 interceptions in that game, 1 return for a touchdown, so that could be the loss that maybe could kill Sacramento State's playoff hopes.
Cam Newman in motion. The snap back to the quarterback, Keave Sagapolitelli. Short toss to Christian Ingman, and a very short gain for the Viking tight end. Koei Kui from the strong safety position to undercut Ingman after a gain of 2 onto the 33-yard line.
That's a good job of Kui just playing at the left cornerback position, just reading it immediately as they do a little waggle, roll out to Ingman, and he was right there to make a tackle right near the line of scrimmage. Well defended on the perimeter.
Newman in motion again, play fake. Keave Sagapolitelli now forced to scramble, throws it into a crowd. It's picked off. Bad pass, intercepted by Sacramento State, and that was Jason Oliver on the pick. That's a ball that's got to be thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, he tried to hit Dotson Green, but just threw it in traffic, and the defender standing right in front of the receiver. That's just a bad play by Sagapolitelli. More or less throw that one away. He would even take the grounding, and Oliver just an easy interception. He was just right in front of the receiver. So we've seen that quite a bit this year, where just a bad decision to throw the ball in traffic and intercepted in Viking territory.
Yeah, you could say that's been the saga of his season. A lot of picks. That's his 11th, and several more balls that could have been intercepted. And now Sacramento State, after giving up the rock on a field goal miss, takes it right back in Viking territory at the 35-yard line. Adams on his first carry escapes the first tackler. Won't get away from Spencer Elliott, though. Wraps him up at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Elliott's improving each week. He's been a threat on that defensive end position, getting a share of sacks, and has been very active, and again able to make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage on Adams.
It's been a defense that's been gashed quite a bit this year, but if you're going to pick an all-conference member of that day, it's got to be Spencer Elliott, the Bend native, a junior, who leads the team in sacks with 4.5. Second down and 10, carry again. Great penetration for this Viking defense, and Adams is swallowed up by a gang of black jerseys. Elliott right in that mix again.
Same exact situation, trying to get it to Adams, and there's Elliott come from the defense end position, standing him up right at the line of scrimmage. So same exact type of play, same exact result. Bring up 3rd and 10.
Elliott, the starting defensive end. Slade Schufelt on the other side of the line. Daniel Matagi, the junior from Chehalis, alongside the up-and-comer Tuaoa Tauiliili, a big sophomore, 330 pounds out of Tacoma on the interior of that line. And time running out for Sacramento State on the play clock. The Hornets will call their first timeout with 2:09 remaining in this first period, trying to add to a 7-0 lead. Go back to that 2022 campaign, and Sacramento State running the table during the regular season. They had consecutive years where they lost just one game during the regular season and went unbeaten in Big Sky Conference play and reached the second round of the FCS playoffs. Troy Taylor earning the head coaching job at Stanford. Since has been dismissed. Allegations of abuse in the athletic department. Andy Thompson was the head coach of this team the last 2 seasons, took them back to the playoffs in 2023 with a 9-3 record, or an 8-5 record rather. And then they slipped to 3-9 last year. He too has moved on to Stanford. He's the co-defensive coordinator for the Cardinal now.
Yeah, Troy Taylor really had it going, and an unbelievable offensive talent that he got on the roster, including a guy named Cam Scadaboo, eventually transferred to Arizona State. Saw what he did at the FBS level, and now with the New York Giants.
Yep, averaged 7 yards a carry for the Hornets back at 22. Back to throw on 3rd and 10. Williams can't find anybody open. He'll scramble, but he's got a spy. But he's able to juke his way past Helmstetler and picks up the first down. Cardell Williams one-on-one with Helmstetler, and he's able to get past the tackle and move the chain.
Yeah, you got to make that tackle. You're more or less kind of the spy, the linebacker, just waiting for him to get out of the pocket, and there's the dual threat. But Williams able to just juke him, make the nice little move, and Helmstetler can't make the tackle. Just nice little jump cut, avoids the tackle, and a big 3rd down pickup again for the Hornets.
First down and 10 at the Viking 18-yard line. Flags come out right after the snap. Jaquale Smith, the ball carrier, stuff shy of the 15-yard line. And we'll wait to see on the infraction. Looks like the Vikings lined up offsides.
Quail Smith on the carry.
Will likely take the penalty rather than the result of the play and preserve the down. That'll move the ball 5 yards down to the Portland State 13-yard line. Second penalty on the Vikings for 10 yards.
If you go back to the schedule, and not a really bad loss in the first game for Sacramento State, losing at South Dakota State, one of the power teams in the FCS, then losing at Nevada, obviously an FBS team, only losing by 3. But again, that loss to Cal Poly, that could come back to haunt them. But again, like I said, if they can run the table, and it could come down again that last game against Cal Davis, going to have a tough game against Idaho at home. But again, might come down to that game against the Aggies for that last playoff spot in the Big Sky.
First down, 5 to go after the offsides penalty. Minute 31 remaining. Actually, they're going to reset the game clock to a minute 52. 7-0 lead for the Hornets. Vikings have had the ball in offense for just 5 plays in this first period. A 3-and-out opening drive and an interception on the second play of their second possession. Deep back is Smith, the fullback Norris in there. And the snap to Williams, looking at a potential reverse. He'll keep it though, and he'll be tackled for a loss. Deontay Thornton getting the start today. Bryson Ross, the talented sophomore corner, out injured today. And Thornton, also a sophomore, coming up to make the play behind the line.
Well, it looked like they're going to go to reverse Ontario Smith Jr., but I think he saw how much traffic he was in, so it was the case that Cardell Williams decided to just keep it himself. Didn't have a lot of room on the left side, so that play was just kind of broken up by the Viking defense, and just more or less had to eat that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And that wipes out the offside penalty and more. A 7-yard loss back to the 20-yard line. Second down, 12 to go. And Williams back to throw, getting some pressure from the backside. He felt it, but hit right after the catch was Smith. Helmstetler right there. Face mask to face mask to stuff it.
Oh, he was just sitting on that one. It looked like he was going to roll right through the right side, through the screen back to the weak side of the field. And Helmstetler, again, that's his read, and he just came up and made the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. And great job making an open field tackle this time now. 3rd and long situation again.
After getting gashed in the ground game on that first drive, this Vikings defense is now making some plays. So another 3rd and long situation for Williams and the Hornets. Tight end in motion, play fake to the back, wide open receiver down the middle. That's Ernest Campbell, uncovered into the end zone. A 22-yard touchdown toss.
It's an RPO, and that's just a case of blown coverage by the Vikings. Campbell just wide open in the middle. He wasn't even covered. There wasn't a Viking within 10 yards of him. And again, a little RPO read right over the middle. And it's about as easy as you can get. I think Green was the one that came up on the play from the safety position. And again,
you saw Isaiah Green, the strong safety, biting hard on the play fake and then got absolutely body slammed on the block. We'll get another look at that replay later. Meanwhile, the Matters PAT is between the pipes. And it's a 14-0 Hornets lead. So it's been a frustrating start here for the Vikings. Defense making some plays, but breakdowns been costly.
Well, Well, it's a case if you're going to blitz the safety, you got to have somebody kind of rotate over in the middle of the field. And I think it's the case that one of the defenders didn't rotate over, and all of a sudden just wide open in the middle of the field. So again, you're going to blitz the safety. A lot of times you just bring the other safety for the middle of the field, and nobody came over. All of a sudden just wide open. So again, just defensive mix-up by the Vikings and easy touchdown.
Isaiah Green getting caught in a WWE maneuver there. So 14-0 start for the Hornets. Just 5 seconds left in this opening period as Firebaugh tees it up to kickoff. Crew Newman, back to receive the kick, standing at the Portland State goal line. Sacramento State, as you mentioned, Scott, has a chance. They've got the tiebreaker for 4th place, but they cannot afford another defeat here down the stretch of the season. Big game looming next week against Montana at home for these Hornets. A returnable kick taken at the 3-yard line by the Portland native Newman. Makes a little juke move. He's got a lot of room out to the right side, out to the 35-40, angling to midfield and slammed out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line. A 46-yard kickoff return by Crew Newman is the final activity of the opening period. The Vikings will have their best starting field position right at the 50 when we come back. It's Sacramento State 14, Portland State nothing, as you see Crew Newman going to work his best kick return of the season. The kicker, Firebaugh, with a save attempt. Alex Rocha needing a lot of assistance to get off the field. The middle linebacker knocked out of play. 2nd down for Portland State. 7 yards to go from the Sacramento State 48-yard line. Their first sojourn into Sac State territory. And like he got hit hard up high, but Appeared to be a lower body injury. Chiave Sagapolitelli pressured immediately. Oh, absolutely hammered as he got rid of that football. He got hit high and low. Surprised to see him bounce back up that quickly as he got wrapped up.
They didn't signal incomplete. Now his arm was going forward, but was it an empty hand and did he have the ball? So they're discussing it right now that nobody signaled incomplete.
That's got to be an incomplete pass. Yep. Referee signals incomplete.
Because now his arm was going forward. He's going to hit Ingman, but he was covered on the play. Try to eventually throw it downfield. So here we go with the replay.
Watch this hit as Hampson wraps him up down low, and then boom! James Gillespie comes in there with a huge shot. And Sagapolitelli proves to be tough, bouncing right back. And now before the snap, a whistle stoppage appears to be another clock issue.
Could be a challenge. This is possibly a fumble.
Well, it looks like we're going to have our first replay review in our third home game. Of course, we weren't here for the opening game against Tarleton State, but no replay to reviews on our two broadcasts, Scott. We're hoping to keep that streak going today, but I think we'll get another look at this. His arm appeared to be going forward. So there you see Hampton coming in, and, well, I don't know.
Well, his arm was coming forward, but he lost control of the ball, so the momentum of his arm allowed the ball to go forward. But did he actually have control of the ball once his arm was going forward? So that's a tough one.
You had a clear recovery there by Diego Davis, who came in to replace the injured Rocha.
I think the referees were smart in not calling that dead on an incomplete pass. So, again, his arm was going forward, but did he have control of the ball while he released it?
There's Hampton, and
yeah, I think he did. I think he did have enough control of the ball. The ball was coming very close to coming out.
This will get really down to the nitty-gritty because he didn't have a grip on the ball, but he had control with his palm that pushed it forward.
Right.
So I think you got to consider that a forward pass. But I don't know the details.
Yeah, it didn't look like a total empty hand where all of a sudden your arm goes forward, but the ball's out before the arm goes forward. He did have semi-control of the ball. His arm was going forward, so the momentum of his arm going forward with the ball. Again, he didn't have look like total control of it, maybe enough to consider that a forward pass.
And the replay upholds the call on the field. Our referee today, local guy Mike Besner. Vic Winnick, the replay official. So 3rd down and 7 for Portland State. And Chiave Sagapolitelli will remain at quarterback. Zachary Dodson-Green split out to the left side. 2 receivers to the right with DeLon Thompson in the backfield. Vikings have basically been going with one running back over the last few weeks. DeLon Thompson really carrying the weight. Sacramento State cheating up to the line of scrimmage, showing blitz. They do bring heat, but it's picked up well. A deep toss by Chiave Sagapolitelli. Lavelle hauls it in at the 2-yard line. Derek Lavelle on the receiving end. 1st down and goal, Portland State.
We had a nice game last week. 4 catches for 86 yards. Had the 1-on-1 coverage downfield. The blitz was picked up. Just threw a deep one, able to get a step on the defender. Just floated in there. Good concentration by Lavelle to make the catch. Looked like Jason Oliver on the coverage on the play, and just a good job of concentration while the defender was backtracking on the play. A good catch. 1st and goal for the Vikings.
And credit to the Vikings picking up that Sacramento State blitz, giving Chiave Sagapolitelli time to load up. Now 1st down and goal. The handoff to DeLon Thompson. He's into the end zone, or is he? Yes, there's the signal. Touchdown, Portland State.
The kickoff return eventually gained the field position, had the big 3rd down bomb to Lavelle and DeLon Thompson. That's his 5th touchdown in the last 2 games. His number 1 in this game. So great job of the Vikings responding and getting themselves back in the game with extra point. Could cut the lead down to 7.
3 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown last week in the win at Cal Poly for the Newberry Park, California sophomore, DeLon Thompson. And now Matias Uribe on to attempt the PAT. Tony Johnson, the punter, on the hold. And everything's mechanically sound. The kick is good. And Portland State gets off the mat after giving up the first 2 scores of the game. They cut the Sacramento State lead in half. It's the Hornets 14, the Vikings 7 on ESPN+.
to the line of scrimmage. They did blitz 6 on the play, did drop a couple back, but again, he saw the one-on-one coverage, and Terrence Laville able to beat Oliver on the play. Good concentration again on the catch, and they punch it in one play later. So again, good recognition by Sacramento.
Short pooch kick is going to drop into open territory and skip into the hands of a Sacramento State up man at the 21-yard line. That's Jackson Frescas on the return. And he takes it out near the 35. This will be the 4th possession for Sacramento State. Vikings gave up a 12-play, 85-yard scoring drive to open the game and then forced Sacramento State into a long field goal.
Yeah, held the ball for 12:28 in the first quarter, 4 for 6 on third down conversion. Outgained the Vikings 136-15. So that was the domination in the first quarter for the Hornets.
The second touchdown drive for Sacramento State, they converted 2 third and 10-plus situations. And look out, he's in the starter's blocks, and forget it. They're not going to catch Ernest Campbell all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, 65-yard catch and run for the speedster who ran a 10 flat 100 meters in high school.
Well, that was just, again, an RPO action, just a simple hitch route about 6 or 7 yards downfield, makes the catch, spun away from one defender. All of a sudden, once he got in a little bit of space, showed his speed, and again, Grain misses a tackle. Nice little sidestep, but all of a sudden, whoop, there he goes. He's just long gone at one other tackler to try to get him by his feet, but Campbell just blew by everybody, and again, can't compensate for that type of speed.
One play is all it takes for Sacramento State to get that lead back to 2 touchdowns, and Metters will tack on one more with the kick. 13:36 remaining in quarter number 2, and the lead 21-7 in favor of Sacramento State. Campbell out of Texas A&M, a transfer in his first year in the program, a junior receiver, averaging over 22 yards of reception. That was his 6th touchdown catch of the season. He's played in all but one game this year. Not really a factor last week with the team throwing the ball just 6 times. He had 1 catch and 1 run. Both went for negative yardage on the red turf at Cheney, but this one goes for plus 65.
Yeah, like I said, it was the conditions last week up in Cheney, just torrential wind and rain as well, so it was really almost impossible to throw the ball downfield. Again, the big reason why Campbell only had the 15 yards net passing. Not too many times you win too many games by 35-13, you have 15 yards passing, but the conditions kind of dictated that. And again, they established Hammond at the big game for over 200 yards, so Campbell was more or less kind of taken out of the game plan last week.
It's actually the second fewest passing yards in a game in program history, and they still won decisively at Cheney. So Firebaugh tees it up. It takes just 17 seconds for Sacramento State to respond to Portland State's first score of the game. End over end kick, and Newman will let it go into the end zone for a touchback. I aired earlier, the Vikings host Montana next week. It'll be Idaho coming into Hornet Stadium to take on Sacramento State before the Hornets travel to UC Davis to close out the year. Neither of those games a gimme for sure.
Yeah, Idaho, Thomas Ford, they've had a good season. Just demolished the Vikings a couple weeks ago, 45-6, just total control domination in that game. And I like what Thomas Ford is doing at Idaho, replacing Jason Eck, who's done a great job at New Mexico this year.
Well, Portland State taking a page out of the Brennan Marion playbook here with the 2 backs side by side next to the quarterback, Yave Soga-Politelli. Sideline pattern, a sliding catch made by Lavelle at the 40-yard line. He picks up 15 and a first down.
That'll play action, and he's going to possibly hit Newman, but they run the comeback pattern to Lavelle. Did a great job of coming back, making the catch up the sideline. Good ball by Soga-Politelli, just putting in the right spot and good concentration, stay in bounds up to their own 40-yard line in the first down.
Lavelle broke his hand opening week last year at Washington State, out the rest of the season, battling injuries early this year. Good to see him back and healthy, and Vikings have a legitimate downfield threat now. As Thompson with the carry, but he is stuffed right away. That was Tavian McKenzie up in the safety position to bring the ball carrier down after a gain of 2.
It's been a little frustrating for Lavelle with the battle of injuries, and he hasn't had really a lot of chances where he's actually been on the field, but he's been definitely the impact really the last half of this season, so finally really able to get in the action for the Vikings.
On the Vikings last year, a transfer from San Jose State. Toss out to the slot man, Crew Newman, trying to cut back to the middle of the field. Not a lot of room to operate. And he picks up 3, maybe 4 yards. They'll give him forward progress to the 46-yard line. A pick up of 4, bringing up 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings.
Yeah, try to get Crew in space, quick hitter to the outside, but pretty well defended. They forced them back to the inside, and a pretty good job of swarming, making the tackle while Newman couldn't get upfield. So again, well defended on the outside by the Hornets.
Constant rotation of defensive linemen for this Sacramento State team as they line up on 3rd down and 4. Empty backfield. Here comes pressure again. Sagapolotelli, decisive delivery. He's got Lavelle at the sticks, and he's into Sacramento State territory with another Viking 1st down. First man there on the hit was McKenzie.
Well, you know you're going to usually get the one-on-one coverage when you're going to go empty 5 wide, just a quick slant. It's a good concentration by Lavelle to make the catch. McKenzie was all over him, but still able to secure the ball, pick up the 1st down in the Sacramento State territory.
McKenzie, not far from Sacramento, grew up in Stockton, went to Edison High School. Gavi Sagapolotelli back to throw on 1st down, but he is swallowed up and sacked. Garrett Hampston, the first one there to get him. Dylan Hampston, rather, on the sack.
Well, he's one of the leading players in the Big Sky with sacks. He's in the top 10, and he gets one right there. I think he's going to try a little wheel route to Thompson out of the backfield, but he was covered on the play also. Once he tried to get out of the pocket, there's Hampston make the sack in the backfield.
Loss of 4. That's now 6.5 sacks, 10.5 tackles for loss for the San Jose State transfer. About 70 transfer players, newcomers into this program for Brennan Marion and crew this year. And pressure again from Hampston, forcing JKS to get rid of that ball sooner than he wanted to. It's thrown behind Christian Ingman, incomplete.
So even if Ingman makes the catch around the short side of the field, there's defenders right next to him if he makes the catch. So in some ways that's probably better than he wasn't able to make the catch on the play. Well defended again, just more or less sitting on that play. So now 3rd and 13 coming up for the Vikes.
Vikings have been without their top tight end all season. Tanner Beeman with a Jones fracture preseason and will miss the entire year. He was likely going to be a top target in this offense. 3rd down throw, and Lavelle's open, but that ball hangs. It's picked off at the 32-yard line by Akui. Slips out of a tackle of Dodson Green at the 50. Ball coughed loose, but picked up by a teammate. A lateral. What are they doing, Scott? And who covered that football? Very reckless play by Sacramento State, and the Vikings take it back, I believe, at the 49-yard line. We have yet to see an official signal. You want to talk about undisciplined.
Well, Akui does a great job from the deep safety position to come up. He makes the interception, going upfield. He's going to be tackled about the 50-yard line.
Well, I thought he coughed it. He coughed it up, and then the guy who recovered it decided to pitch it to a teammate. Yeah. Just a terrible
Elias
decision.
Mullican, he was able to pick up the fumble after he was stripped. And no idea, in traffic, trying to lateral in the middle of the field, and the Vikings get the big break, and they'll have 1st down thrown 40-yard line. Craziest play we've probably seen this season.
A reprieve, and DeLon Thompson gashes the left side for a 10-yard run near the 1st down marker. They'll signal the chains forward, or will they? I saw a signal from the head linesman.
Picked up 9.
Yeah, they'll spot it short of the line to gain. Yeah, that could be a critical miscue in this game if the Vikings are able to capitalize and score and get back to within 1 touchdown.
It was actually a fortunate bounce right after Akui gets stripped. The ball bounces right up to Mullican, but Mullican again in traffic trying to lateral in the middle of the field. What are you doing?
On 2nd and 1, Thompson hit near the marker.
He maybe had enough momentum. In fact, they're going to give him the 1st down. Pretty well defended, but only needed the yard to pick it up.
Credit the tackle to Fata Paloka. Backup linebacker. 1st and 10 for Portland State at the 41-yard line of Sacramento State. A lot of time left here in the 2nd period. 21-7 Hornets leader. Looking deep on 1st down on the flag route, but bracket coverage there on Crew Newman. As the safety McKenzie rotates over to help out, along with Lono Chateau.
They tried a deep flag pattern to Newman, but like you said, he had coverage in the front by McKenzie, and Also, like I said, Joe to the sophomore from a local kid from Sacramento, playing the deep back position as well. So again, well covered downfield.
And Vikings trying to avoid those obvious passing downs, throwing on first down. Now 2nd down and 10 as Newman motions behind the formation. Barreling into the middle of the line is Thompson, but only a couple for him. James Gillespie, over 300 pounds. Woodbridge, Virginia native, a transfer from Middle Tennessee State. And the senior gets the tackle at the 39-yard line, bringing up 3rd and 8 for Portland State.
Well, he said Newman in motion, hoping the Sacramento State defense kind of flow more of that direction, kept it up the middle, but again, trying to run right at Gillespie, a tough task. He's been in a number of tackles so far, the 318-pound senior.
Andre Miller in as a slot receiver to the right side, and up the middle, Thompson was running free. The pass behind him incomplete.
Oh, he had the defender beat, and it looked like Fada Paluku was the player that got beat from the linebacker. That's exactly what you want. You want the running back one-on-one with the linebacker, a little Texas rod right in the middle of the field and just wide open, but the ball's a little bit behind him. Still probably had a chance to be caught. The Vikings are going to play it safe, punt this away, but a big missed opportunity for the Vikings. That could have possibly taken the house as well, or at least maybe inside the 20-yard line.
Down 14, halfway through the 2nd quarter. You surprised they're punting here, not going for it on 4th down?
Maybe not this early in the game. Maybe play a little field position, but you see so many coaches go for it in this spot, so I guess it's a rarity that they actually punt in this situation.
Well, Johnson does his job and pins Sacramento State deep at the 10-yard line after the fair catch. A punt of 29 yards. 8:17 to go first half. And we'll break away with Sacramento State leading the Vikings by 2 touches, 21-7. 47-yard line, trailing by 2 touchdowns. The backup quarterback, Tyree Smith, making his first appearance of the game on this drive. And he has run the ball for 18 yards on the last 2 carries. He'll keep it again with DeLon Thompson leading the way. Boy, he gets up to speed quickly. And Smith barrels down to the 41-yard line. This time picking up 6 yards on first down.
That's pretty much kept on all the type of plays that can possibly hand it off.
That's
so
good for another Viking
Sacramento
first
State
down.
defense going to have to adjust and count for Smith carrying the ball.
And with the changes on the offensive line, Samisi Latu out with an injury. The Vikings center as the handoff goes to the slot man this time, Crew Newman. Another good first down gain. He picks up 11 yards down to the 30-yard line. And the Vikings looking more like Sacramento State on this drive.
Well, Smith doing a masterful job. This time he does hand it off on a little sweep to Newman, able to turn the corner. I think again, after all the runs by Smith, they're keen on Smith. This time he does hand it off. So again, making good decisions with the ball.
James Minot taking over at center for the injured Latu, opening the door for the true freshman at left guard. Smith the carry again. And a timeout called by Portland State quickly to stop the clock with a minute 22 left. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Sacramento State also 2 timeouts in the bag. So the Vikings have alternated quarterbacks throughout this season. You see Tyree Smith on the right, John Chiave Sagapolatelli on the left. Chiave Sagapolatelli, more the passing quarterback. Tyree Smith, the more talented athlete and runner. 222 rushing yards coming into the game. He's actually played every week this year. Sagapolatelli did not play in the first 2 weeks of the season. The Vikings have 3 different starting quarterbacks the first 3 weeks against tough competition. FCS title favorite Tarleton State in week 1, and then BYU proved to be a rugged customer on the road.
51 total yards in that game.
2nd down, 7 to go for the Vikings. You fake the fly man, give to Thompson, nothing going left, tries to come back to the right, into the waiting arms of Dylan Hempston, who's been a busy man off the edge of this defense in the first half.
Thompson, it looked like he ran into the back of an offensive lineman and pivoted the other way, but again, there's Hampston to make the tackle right near the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 6 coming up as the clock ticks down. Crew Newman this time does take the handoff, and he's got some room to run. Cuts back inside, wrapped up and dropped after he picks up the first down. Jason Oliver, the cornerback, on the tackle. Clock stops to move the chains with 53 seconds to go.
They got plenty of time. They don't really have to burn a timeout here. See if they can time it perfectly, possibly get in the end zone. Basically no time to put up a score before the half.
Newman picked up 8 on the carry, ball at the 18-yard line. This time it's Lavelle taking the fly sweep handoff, and he gets chopped down. Flag comes out, and that'll stop the clock. We'll see who this is on.
I think it might be on DeLon Thompson.
There's Lavelle on the carry.
A good tackle in the open field, not allowing Lavelle to get to the sideline. Not seen too much laundry on the field in this first half. There will be a holding penalty against Portland State.
I think it's possibly DeLon Thompson. He's kind of leading the way downfield as Lavelle trying to turn the corner. He's upended on the play, and right when he was upended, the flag comes out.
Well, he also saw Christian Ingman with a handful of a Sac State defender, so it could have been a couple of guys on that play. But march it back. The hold came downfield about 3 yards, so the ball moves back to the 25-yard line. This time Smith back to throw, gets pressured by Devin Wright, hit as he throws, juggled and caught at the 15-yard line.
Take the timeout if you're Portland State.
Tick, 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 2019, and now the Vikings get that timeout call. Second down coming up from the 15-yard line.
Yeah, the ball is actually behind Thompson. He made a nice catch. It's a tough throw for the right-hander. Actually, the defensive lineman kind of hit his arm. The ball kind of fluttered downfield. The ball's behind him, but Thompson's still able to make the catch on the play.
That's a really good catch. So the Vikings need to get to the 8-yard line to pick up a first down. It'll be second down and about 7 to go. And they have 1 timeout left. You want to get 7 here.
Points, just get at least 3. Obviously you'd want 7, but at least if you're Portland State, put some points on the board before the half. Frank Smith try not to force anything into the end zone for some type of interception or some type of a turnover. Got to be smart in this situation, like I said. Want 7, but at least put some points up before the half. Again, you'll start the second half with the ball for the Vikings.
Hornets with that 2 touchdown leads. Big plays, a big factor in this game. A 65-yard touchdown reception by Ernest Campbell. Also caught a 22-yard touchdown pass from Cardell Williams. 25-yard touchdown run by Damian Henderson on the opening drive of the game. Empty set on second down. Smith, quick delivery over the middle. It's caught by the tight end. Reaching out over the goal line. Touchdown, Charlie White. The Banks native with his first Vikings score, and it comes with 15 seconds remaining in the half.
It's an interesting look for the Vikings. They actually lined up the tackle Torgerson to the right side. He jumped in the air like he was going to get the pass, and they threw a seam pass right in the middle of the field to White. He made a nice catch. Looked like he's going to be tackled at the 1, but great anticipation, knowing he's right near the goal line, to reach the ball across the plane for the touchdown. What a play by White. Good catch, and again.
Yeah, I anticipate they're going to review this, and they will stop play before the PAT attempt to see if White was down before he was able to extend that right arm and get the ball over the plane of the goal line.
Yeah, his knee possibly could have been down. Again, just great football intuition to reach the ball across the plane. It was hard to tell if his knee was down on the play. But it looked like he did reach it over, but again, did he reach it over before his knee was down?
Well, Charlie White, very talented athlete at Banks High School, 2-time Co-op League Offensive Player of the Year, 1 Defensive Player of the Year as well as a senior. And part of a strong baseball program over there for the Braves, who play at the 3A level in Oregon high schools. In the Co-op League. It's going to be close, I think. We're going to look and see if we have a good angle on it. When does that knee go down?
Ooh, that's close.
Can't really tell from that angle.
Yeah,
remember, they called a touchdown on the field, so if there's not a definitive view.
If the camera angle's right on the goal line, you probably have a better chance, but it's kind of camera angles toward the goal line. It's hard to tell knee down when the ball was actually reached over the goal line.
Oh, if only, UC Davis. 2024, you had a goal line view. It's a game the Vikings should have had a W, but it got ripped out of their hands.
Catches it, he's trying to spin away.
Knee is down. Actually, I think his rear end is the
close.
first body part that hit the ground.
Could have maybe been a half yard short.
But you just cannot overturn based on this evidence at least. Yeah, if I had to guess, he's not. If I had to guess, that ball is not over the plane when he's down. But you can't play guessing games. You've got to have a definitive view to overturn this call. So unless our replay officials have something that we don't, this should stand. And we'll get the announcement from Mike Besner. No, yep, as expected, a touchdown. No, that is not a percussion device on his right hip. It's just not working as usual. So, what's new? Here we go. Uribe on to attempt the PAT to try and make this a 7-point ball game. Vikings hanging tough, and this defense has made a lot of big plays in the first half. Unfortunately, they've given up a few big plays. The kick is good.
Kick is good.
It's a 21-14 Sacramento State lead.
14.
There's another look from behind.
Concentration to make the catch. He reaches out.
I think that's a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think he could have overturned that. Now, if he was possibly marked down about the half-yard line, he might not have overturned that and gave him the touchdown as well. So they called it on the field. And again, White was great football intuition to know that he was so close to the goal line, he just stretched the ball. Sometimes it's a danger. You stretch the ball, so he gets knocked out as well. But again, just a great job of making the play and get the touchdown. So huge touchdown for the Vikings.
Worth noting as well, you saw big number 79 on that play. Another true freshman offensive lineman, Angelo Sarukos. And remember late last year, the Vikings got Pule Leatikaga and Sean Torgerson into action. Got their feet wet with starts late in the season, preserved that red shirt. So now you've got bookend redshirt freshman tackles and a couple of true freshmen playing at the guard position. So the Vikings potentially building a powerhouse offensive line for years to come.
They just pooch it. They're going to kick it to Hammond. This is danger for the Vikings.
Hammond, one of the top kick returners in the league. Flag comes out. He goes down. After a short return, Vikings have had outstanding cover teams all season long. And Robbie Haug, the special teams coach on this team, you got to think he's going to be a head coach in the near future. Son of the head coach at Montana. Illegal block in the back, and that flag came from way downfield.
Yeah. Well, I think if I'm Sacramento State, I just need out. There are only 9 seconds left in the half. I wouldn't take any chances of trying to throw the ball downfield, and so I just need out and go to halftime up 7.
Well, competitive first half of football. The Vikings couldn't say that 2 weeks ago as they got stuffed at Idaho, but bounced back with a 40-35 win at Cal Poly, and hope to build some momentum here down the stretch of the season. They're very excited. Their homecoming game downtown at their old home, Providence Park. Next week against Montana, before they close out the season on the road. And the handoff to Sam Adams on the final play of the half as the last seconds tick away. Sacramento State will take a lead of 7 to the locker room. It's the Hornets 21. The Vikings for opportunity after scoring a touchdown with just 15 seconds left in the first half. And the fireball kick stays in bounds, picked up at the 10-yard line by Crew Newman, trying to get out of a herd of traffic, and he is taken down shy of the 25-yard line. That tackle, I'm not going to be able to see that, my man.
It's like Jacob
Jones, a backup inside linebacker with the tackle on special teams. He's played in every game on special teams for Sacramento State this season. So the Vikings with an opportunity to pull even here, and we'll see who comes out at quarterback to start the second half. It is Tyrese Smith who piloted the team to that final touchdown drive. The redshirt freshman from Henderson, Nevada, coming in 22 of 41 through the air on the season. He has rushed for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's back to throw on first down. Little safety valve toss and room to ramble for Crew Newman out to the 39-yard line before he is taken down from behind by Fada Paloka.
You could almost hand it to him. He's so close on the pass with good recognition as he fakes it. He's looking downfield. So just quick dump off pass to Newman. Had plenty of room on the right side. Takes it upfield up all the way up to the 39-yard line. So going to stay with the hot hand Smith, who's like Philly struggled with a couple interceptions, almost a third as well. So I agree with Coach Barnum coming out with Smith. Yeah,
while Keawe Sagapolitelli was below 50%, Smith has completed all 4 of his passes, but won't get an opportunity here as time runs out very quickly on the blitz. He is taken down by the linebacker Oscar
Moore with the tackle.
This time, good job of Moore making sure Smith not able to get upfield as he comes from the outside and able to use the speed rush to bring him down a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So that.
Loses a yard and a half. It'll be second down from just beyond the 37-yard line. Empty backfield. The fly man in motion. Andre Miller takes the handoff. He's the 3rd receiver to get a running play. Ball comes out, but after he was down at the 40-yard line, and Miller is going to hop off
Andre
the field.
Miller on the carry.
Featured that right leg.
Jason Oliver with the stop.
Make it to the trainer's table as he gets in around, and actually they're going to call looks like a holding penalty against the Vikings.
So insult to injury is that'll cost them. The flag came down at the end of the run, so they picked up about 3 yards. It'll get marched back to the 31-yard line. Miller back up slot receiver. Both he and Newman have yard business in the offseason, both Portland area natives. Miller went to Nelson High School out in Clackamas, the new school. Smith delivers near side, jumping the route and nearly picking it off. Jason Oliver. That was intended for the tight end Ingman.
That was intended for Briston
He's a half step.
Incomplete.
Was just jumping around in front of the receiver, going pick 6 as he got his hands on it but couldn't secure it. But good anticipation of that pattern toward the sideline. Maybe a half step from possibly getting the touchdown.
So 3rd down, 18 to go for Portland State at the 31-yard line. DeLon Thompson has been the lone running back today, and that's really been the case for about the past month. 4-man rush, and Smith gets out of trouble, avoids a tackle, but he can only get back to the original line of scrimmage where Moore trips
Tyrese Smith on the keeper.
We're more or less having 2
Oscar Moore with the tackle.
Sacramento State linebackers more or less playing in the spy position, just waiting for Smith to come out of the backfield. Diego Davis in, Moore, Oscar Moore, transfer from UTEP, able to make the tackle. So well defended and big 3 and out for the
number 34,
Sacramento State defense.
Jody Johnson.
Actually, they did get first down, but
Ricky Lee, deep safety for the Hornets.
Johnson back to punt it away. Ricky Lee back to receive. As the Vikings. What happened here? They run out
This
of
might
time.
be a defensive penalty against Sacramento State because they were kind of clapping right when the ball was being snapped. So this is a delay game penalty. It's going to go against Sacramento State because you're trying to basically disrupt the offense with signals, and when you start clapping at the line of scrimmage, so that's going to be a delay game penalty. So that's the reason for the 5-yard mark off.
Unfortunately, it was 4th and 9, so the Vikings will keep the punt team out there. Neither team particularly heavily penalized in that first half. That's the 3rd foul for 20 yards for Sac State. Vikings 3 penalties for 20. Very little rush put on and a beautiful spiraling punt. It's going to be fielded at the 1-yard line by Lee, and he is taken down inside the 5.
I never understand why players they stand around
Ricky
the yard line, goes over your head, just
on
let
the
it go.
return.
You have to know where you are on the field. wasn't able to get up to his own 5-yard line, so a big mistake and cost him some major field position.
Boy, that might be the best punt of the year for Tony Johnson and the worst starting field position of the game for Sac State at the 5 when we come back. 21-14 Hornets. Oh, big mistake there by Ricky Lee III, fielding a punt at his own 1-yard line, and he's got his team pinned deep to start this drive at the 5. Let's check the Big Sky Conference scoreboard, and Scott, you could call the Montana Grizzlies the Denver Broncos of the Big Sky this year. Another one-score game, another Grizzlies win today as they squeak one out over Eastern Washington 29-24. Look at the rest of the scores in a moment as Cardell Williams awaits the snap. The handoff up the middle. Look out. It's a foot race. Rodney Hammond's got a chance to go 95 yards. He's being pursued by Thornton and Green. Green will catch him and spin him down at the Portland State 7-yard line.
It's a simple power run to the right side. All of a sudden, once he got past the additional line of scrimmage, it's a foot race to the end zone. Good job of Green closing. He does bring him down, but it's going to be 1st and goal for the Hornets. So after the mistake, fielding the punt at the 1 and starting at the 5, one play later, ready to punch one in. An 87-yard run for Rodney Hammond Jr., the transfer from the University of Pittsburgh. Boy, he barely gets a chance to catch his breath. He takes another handoff and is tripped up shy of the 5-yard line. Now the big plays setting up scores in the first half for Sacramento State. Another look at Rodney Hammond Jr., big gaping hole up the middle. And Isaiah Green with the saving stop for Portland State, the free safety. Yeah, where were the linebackers in that one? Again, just a simple power run to the right side, and once he broke the initial line of scrimmage, he was almost gone. Run pass option and skipping his way past a couple of tackles. Jaquel Smith is in there. Touchdown, Sacramento State.
Touchdown, Sacramento State.
Well, good response for Sacramento State after they get the defense to stop. It looked like they're in a little bit of trouble deep in their own end, but again, Hammond filled up an 87-yard run 2 plays later. The freshman Jaquel Smith gets in the end zone, so the Hornets extend the lead with extra point and up at the 14. Yeah, Pierce Walker trying to deliver the big blow instead of wrapping up, and Smith bounces off the missed tackle into the end zone. So Matters to attempt the PAT. That is good. And Portland State had things set up after the late score in the first half, receiving the opening half kickoff, but unable to get anything going offensively. And then the gashing run by Rodney Hammond. And Sacramento State's back in front by 2 touchdowns, 28-14.
crowd here during the timeout. Sacramento
For the
State,
Vikings, number 6,
a
Drew
quick
Newman.
scoring
Number
drive
28, Jordan Harris.
after they got pinned at their 5-yard line on a special teams mistake.
Joseph Fireball.
87-yard run for Ronnie Hammond. He's once again well past the century mark 1 week after 208 yards, 2 touchdowns at Eastern Washington. From Norfolk, Virginia, and from the University of Pittsburgh, a 5'9", 195-pound senior running back, played 4 years for the Panthers, 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns in 36 games for them. Crew Newman will return this from the 8-yard line. Weaves out to the 25 to the 30. It's Vikings ball there. 22-yard return for the redshirt freshman.
Jacob Jones on the tackle for Sacramento State.
Looking down at that huddle, looks like Tyree Smith is at the controls, at least for the immediate future. After leading the Vikings to a late touchdown in the first half, he was at the controls for the first drive of the second half. Unfortunately, a holding penalty set them back and forced a punt. Running play on first down, DeLon Thompson able to get out past the 35 to the 36-yard line. Sacramento State has done a pretty good job of bottling up the Vikings' top running back, as he was held under 30 yards in the first half.
Yeah, Melvin Swindle, the second, able to make the tackle on the play.
There's a lot of seconds, thirds, and juniors on this Sacramento State team. Play fake to the fly man. Smith keeps but doesn't get far. Maybe a yard.
It was a little bit too slow development play for the Vikings. Faked it up to Newman, but Dick Smith took a little while to start getting upfield and didn't have a lot of room. Eventually kind of slid down and able to pick up 1 or 2 yards, bring up third and a long 2.
His third drive of the game after John Chiave Sagapolatelli got the start this afternoon. Big 3rd and 3 call coming up. And the handoff is to Thompson, tripped up, and he is not going to get to the marker.
Thompson on the carry.
Really good job coming to make the tackle. Looked like Fada Puloka coming to make the tackle right near the line of scrimmage.
And this is a linebacker unit that's pretty banged up right now. We saw Alex Rocha helped off the field. No Derek Houston today. He's the leading returning tackler, and the Vikings will line up to go for it on 4th down.
I have to think this is going to be some type of quarterback blast, but you know, they're going to run the punt team on the field.
Are they going to have time to get this punt away? I don't know. Under 10 seconds on the play clock. Sacramento State scrambling to get their return unit in. And it's a low rolling snap, but handled beautifully by Johnson. And a really good kick under the circumstances. Lee with a fair catch, and it's more like it. You don't mind a fair catch at the 14-yard line. They'll spot it at the 15. Stumbling out of the gates offensively. The Vikings need a defensive stop to stay in this game. 28-14 the score with 9:12 to go, and we'll break away on ESPN+. Back to action, 1st and 10. Sacramento State at the 15-yard line following a 46-yard Tony Johnson punt. 9:12 to go, 3rd period. And a pitch wide to Jaquale Smith. He is gobbled up in the backfield. Another stop for loss for this swarming Portland State defense.
Usually when you see the pitches, the 2-hand overhand variety on the pitch. Smith not able to get upfield. Good job on the perimeter by the Viking defense.
Loss of 2 back to the 13-yard line. And straight up the middle, hat comes off for Matangi. He'll have to come out for a play, and quickly in to replace him comes Jaden Sandusky. Matangi, transfer from Central Washington University, moving up a level. Played his high school ball at my alma mater, WF West High School in Chehalis, under Bob Wallen. Boy, what a great job he has done since coming from Pullman High. On 3rd down, the handoff to Smith, and he is swarmed again near the line of scrimmage. So Sacramento State playing it rather conservatively on that drive, and Vikings should get good field position following this Cal McGuff punt.
Well, he pretty much summed it up with the conservative play calling, especially on third down. Now they're able to pop a couple of those third down runs earlier in the game, but this time the Vikings well defended and should get some good field position back.
4th down and 8 to go. McGuff standing just outside the end zone, and Jordan Herron is right now standing inside the 50-yard line. That's pretty close. McGuff, one of the better punters in the Big Sky. See if the Vikings bring an all-out rush. They do not, and Herron backs up to receive the kick at the 45. First man misses, but a lot of guys there, and there's that man again, Jacob Jones. He's kind of the leader of this special teams unit, and ushers Herron out of bounds, but the Vikings will have very good field position at the 50-yard line after a 5-yard return.
Well, dangerous to field that. The defender was coming quickly, but good job of fielding, and then sidestepping the initial defender, kicking it out. So not a big return, so pretty good coverage downfield by the Sacramento State special teams, but still have to be happy for Coach Barnum starting this drive at the Sacramento State 45-yard line, down 14 halfway through the third quarter.
Herron, one of the backup running backs on this team, but Jordan Herron, Jacques Badalano Birdsell, Micah Avery, they've been gathering dust on offense over this last month. Really, the only running back getting handoffs lately has been DeLon Thompson.
Oh, we saw Herron with a big punt return against Northern Arizona, able to house that one, so he definitely has the potential of breaking a big one.
You either see the Viking quarterback carry the ball or a handoff to a slot receiver or a receiver in motion. We've seen Lavelle, Newman, and Andre Miller all carry the ball today. Miller limping off the field earlier. I haven't seen him since. 3-yard gain for Thompson on the first down carry. And the Vikings in hurry-up mode now with Smith still at quarterback.
And going empty backfield, having the tight end and Thompson line up to the left side.
Ingman flexed out wide with Thompson in the slot. And 3 receivers to the wide side right on 2nd down and 7 to go. Under 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Vikings down 2 touchdowns. It's a quarterback draw for Smith, and we'll see where they spot him. He went down shy of the first down marker at the 41-yard line.
Xavier Williams can bring him down, kind of whiffed on the play as Smith able to escape him, get upfield, and just short of the first down marker, 3rd and maybe less than a yard.
Vikings stay with the same formation. Ingman comes in a little tighter to the slot man, Thompson on the left side. Smith trying to get the Hornets to jump off, and they've shown a lot more discipline over the last 2 weeks after being heavily penalized over the first couple of months of the season. Another quarterback keeper, and Smith puts his head down, but a flag comes out at the end of the play, and this may wipe out a first down for Portland State.
Well, usually the umpire throwing the flag is going to be some type of holding penalty. Ingman goes in motion, was the lead blocker on the quarterback blast to the right side. He picked up the first down. I think this one's going to be marked off, so huge holding penalty against the Vikings.
Yeah, that one burns.
Repeat 3rd down.
So Smith had picked up 2 yards on the 3rd and 1 carry, but that'll set him back 10, and now best pass rushers in the Big Sky Conference knows what's coming. 10-yard march brings the ball back to the Vikings side of the field.
I'm not sure if that was on Sarukas getting called trying to block Xavier Williams or James Gillespie.
Vikes will stick with that empty backfield, and Smith looking to the sideline where one of his teammates is holding up a sign with the play call. Clock continuing to run, 5:45 to go in the third. Just a 4-man rush, but well, we're going to have another holding penalty, and we got a wide open receiver down the field. Lavelle to the 10-5 touchdown, but it's coming back.
Yeah, this time it looked like Xavier Williams was again held on the play as Smith able to escape. Lavelle gets behind the defense, makes the easy catch, walks in the end zone, but again, this one's coming back, so it's going to be 2 straight holding penalties. This one to wipe out a touchdown.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that one. Make it 3rd down at 21 now. Vikings. Well, you've seen a lot to get excited about today, but the Vikings just continue to shoot themselves in the foot, and you can see the obvious hold by the left tackle, Sean Torgerson.
Once you start grabbing around the neck and you kind of spin the defender down, especially on that edge rush, You're going to get called for that, so I don't think Portland State has an argument on that one.
And checking the penalties now. For Portland State. Well, we're going to look at that in a moment. Draw, handoff, safe play. Thompson running right. If he can get a couple of blocks. Ball came out near the sideline. Looks like the Hornets might have it, and they do.
Well, another turnover for the Vikings is just more kind of the give-up play, just try to wedge out some yards to get a little bit of field position. Swarm tackle on the play, and I think the ball just came out the last second near the Sacramento State sideline. A little sprint draw, kicks it out to the right side. Wasn't going to be able to pick up the first down, but trying to get the extra yard, and the ball just poked away.
It looked like it might be a forced fumble and recovery for Micah Mosley, backup outside linebacker. A couple of guys converged at the same time. Looked like Mosley was the one who poked it free and then fell on it. So a big play for the Sacramento State defense, giving them the ball at the Viking 45-yard line. Seems like they've been on the verge of pulling away in this game, but the Vikings D has kept them in it. Williams, a play fake. Nobody opening up downfield. He'll tuck and run. And Walker pushes him out of bounds at the 41-yard line. He gives 4 yards on the scramble.
He's flushed out of the pocket. The Vikings a little bit of containment on the strong side of the field, able to turn the corner, get upfield, but actually closed pretty quickly, so only allowed the 3 yards on the carry to the outside.
6 penalties, 50 yards on Portland State in this game. Just 3 for 20, 1 week after a season-low 3 penalties, 15 yards on Sacramento State in their win at Cheney last week. And the $10,000 that Brennan Marion had to pay to the conference might have been well spent. Hammond gobbled up near the line of scrimmage, just a yard, tripped up by Walker.
Yeah, couldn't get any momentum going upfield. Just Walker right near the line of scrimmage, comes up, makes the tackle. Maybe got a yard at best, so nice job right at the line of scrimmage of Walker coming up and making the play.
Brendan Marion, the first-year head coach at Sacramento State. Called the plays at UNLV the last 2 years. Rebels went 19-8 and qualified for a pair of bowl games. Running right, and flag comes in at the end of the run as Hammond is ripped down near the line of scrimmage, well short of the first down,
yeah.
But what's the penalty?
Yeah, Roberts came up right at the line of scrimmage and just threw down Hammond. Again, a very conservative play call on 3rd down and about 6.
Well, this time it's the Hornets that are going to be guilty of holding, it appears.
Well, interesting if you're the Vikings. You take this and put them in 3rd and 10, or you decline it, put them 4th and 6. But if you decline it, then obviously they might go for it here. So they will decline it. See what Sacramento State does here. Then now they might go for it in the spot.
No gain on the play. Offense stays on the field for the Hornets.
Yeah, there's the danger of declining that penalty. Instead of make it 3rd and 16.
Interesting formation. They bring the 2 receivers to the short side. The tight end will start out in the backfield.
Possibly option left.
Now it's a straight running play, and it opens up for Hammond. He is gone. Touchdown, Hornets. On 4th down and 6, another gaping hole right up the middle.
It's more or less a read option, kept with Hammond, and again, once he got past the initial line of scrimmage, just sprinted by the Viking defense into the end zone for the touchdown. So a monstrous second half, a monstrous last 2 games for Hammond. He should be close to the 200-yard mark, another touchdown as well. So Hammond has had just unbelievable back-to-back games and keeps adding on this one as well.
40 yards to the house. And the Hornets, who were held under their season average in terms of rushing in the first half, now catching up quickly. Metters tacks on 1 more. And the biggest lead of the day for the visitors. It's now a 3-touchdown lead for Sacramento State, 35-14. Still a lot of football left with 4:01 to go.
Well, that's the confidence Sacramento State has in their running game against the Vikings today. Is on the previous possession on 3rd and 8, they decided to run the ball, don't get it. And this time they got 4th and 6 and decided to run and take it to the end zone. Again, Hammond with a big day. And again, that was kind of a tricky call for Coach Barnum. Do you take the penalty and march them back and put them 3rd and 16, a passing attack? They had a few big plays today, but your percentage of possibly getting the stop there are pretty high. So they decided to decline it, and then Sacramento State goes for it, puts up the touchdown. So again, that was kind of a tricky call for the Vikings, and eventually backfired on them.
Well, interesting about Coach Marion. Before he led UNLV's offense with a strong rushing attack, he was primarily a receivers and quarterback coach. Came to UNLV from Texas, where he was the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach for the Longhorns. And prior to that, wide receivers coach at Hawaii, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at William and Mary.
He had a couple of really good offenses when he was at UNLV. Ricky White Jr. might have been one of the best receivers in the country. He was actually on the practice squad for the Seahawks, so he had some good talent at UNLV.
Kickoff into the end zone by Fireball. Portland State ball at the 25-yard line. They got a steep hill to climb. They're going to need a big play or two and maybe a turnover to get back into this one. But they got a lot of time to work with and all 3 timeouts left.
Well, that's what halftime adjustments are for, because once Smith came in the game, they didn't really do a good job of him adjusting to him running the ball. They ran a lot of sweeps where he was getting upfield, and Smith was making good decisions of actually handing it off on the sweeps as well. But since the second half, done a better job of controlling Smith. So again, good halftime adjustments by the Sacramento State defensive coaching staff, limiting Smith and making plays.
Well, Coach Marion did keep a few guys on staff from the previous regime, and they added a former Portland State assistant coach, A.C. Patterson. And he was the offensive coordinator at PSU before departing for Sacramento. Short passing play to Christian Ingman, and we got an injured Hornet at the end of this play.
I think it's Melvin Swindell. He tried to tackle Ingman, and I think, or is that possibly Mosley?
That's Mosley, and it looks like something on the right side. So we've seen a few Hornets go down today. Rocha needed help to get off the field, the linebacker.
Yeah, you try to tackle Ingman. He's a pretty big cat that you're trying to just win into him, and I think the impact right in the middle of the chest.
Mosley up on his knees, and then
Probably looks like he just got the wind knocked out on that one.
yeah, he's able to jog off the field. Looks like he'll be all right. 4-yard gain on the passing play. 2nd down, 6 to go for Portland State. And again, it's Tyree Smith at quarterback. He's got 2 running backs to his right on 2nd down and 6 to go. They'll run option to the wide side, and Smith is lassoed at the 32-yard line.
Almost a horse collar tackle, and that play kind of reached behind Smith, grabbed it from behind. Not going to call the flag. He ran option to the right side. Said he's drugged down from behind. Hard to tell if it's actually considered a horse collar tackle, which would have been a penalty, but they do not call it.
Bobby Fresquez, the lead analyst, he had been the associate head coach under Andy Thompson, sticking around with his son Jackson, a punt returner and wide receiver on this team. And it looks like Thompson will have enough for the first down on that carry.
He grabbed him right in the back of the jersey, and a lot of times if you got to get him on the top of the shoulder pad, so I think that's the reason they didn't call the horse collars. He actually got the jersey instead of grabbing right in the kind of the back of the neck area, grabbing that pad.
Lights dimming here at Hillsborough Stadium. The lights are on. First down carry for Thompson, running right. Runs through a shoulder tackle, keeps his feet, still rambling down near midfield. His best running play of the day. And that'll be a gain of 13 yards.
He bounced off the tackle. Diego Davis on the play kept his feet, so one of the best runs of the day for Thompson. Able to get up short of midfield up to the 49-yard line in the first down.
Well, he's been every bit the workhorse back. 138 carries for 481 yards on the season coming in. It's only an average of 3.5 per carry, as he was not picking up a lot of yardage earlier in the season. Had his breakout last week with 184 rushing yards on 26 carries with 3 scores. Caught another 3 passes for 54 and another touchdown. And the Vikings win at Cal Poly. And continues to get the majority of the work. Some strong running here as he picks up about 7.
Yeah, the problem with Thompson early in the season, all of a sudden you start trailing by 2 or 3 touchdowns. The running game plan with Thompson's out the window, trying to throw the ball downfield to get back in these games. So anytime you're trailing significantly, especially early in these games, again, Thompson.
Not to mention a broken hand that certainly limited his effectiveness. He had a big cast on for a couple of weeks, had a smaller cast, and now is running free and unhindered. After the gain of 7, gets the carry again, bursts up the middle down to the 32-yard line. That's a pickup of 12.
Yeah, good blocking. Viking offensive line. Thompson just burst through there, gets to that second level, finally brought down around the mark at the 33.
11 yards on the carry. And the Vikings patiently keeping the ball on the ground with time to work with. Still a minute to go here in the third period. Setting things up for play action. The only pass on this drive came on the first play, and it was a short one. They'll hand it off again to Thompson. Avoids a tackle in the backfield, but won't get away from the next 3. A loss back to the 37-yard line.
Well, good play by Jalen McLaughlin as he is able to get the penetration, force Thompson to kick a little bit wider than they wanted to, able to allow the other defenders on the Sacramento State defense come over and make the play. So actually, it looked like Mosley's event was the one that got the penetration, eventually come over and make the tackle.
4-yard loss. Vikings need to hustle if they want to get another playoff here before the end of the quarter, and they will not snap the football. Time runs out. 3 quarters in the books. Vikings on the march, but facing second down at 14 when we resume play in the fourth. Sac State up to 371 yards of offense, 239 yards on the ground, led by Rodney Hammond, the juniors, 170 rushing yards. Oregon State 147 yards rushing. DeLon Thompson up to 75 now with a score. Second down, 14 to go as we begin quarter number 4. There's your play action. Deep throw for Lavelle. He's open on the sideline inside the 5-yard line.
A little play action, deep fade, and able to beat Ricky Lee III as Lavelle able to make the over-the-shoulder catch right at the 5-yard line. First and goal for the Vikings. Another big play for Lavelle.
It's the second time that a deep ball to Derek Lavelle has set the Vikings up inside the Sacramento State 5-yard line. They'll actually spot the ball right at the 5. A gain of 32 yards. And he's over 100 for the day. Hand off to Thompson, and he is sandwiched behind the line of scrimmage.
Big, sincere Massey, the 6'5", 342-pound junior from Fort Worth, Texas, came up and made this stick right near the line of scrimmage.
Massey had a sack and forced fumble in last week's 35-13 win at Eastern Washington. Transferred from Abilene Christian, 6'3", 330-pound junior. 2 different high schools in the Fort Worth area, Trinity Christian and Cedar Hill. Loss of a yard on the play, second down and goal from the 6-yard line. Empty backfield, Charlie White, the tight end, in motion. He'll block for the quarterback, Smith. He lunges for the goal line. Ball might have come out. I think he was down just shy of the goal line, bringing up 3rd and 1.
One thing you notice about the Viking offense in those plays, they like bringing the tight end, kind of kicking at the edge with the tight end coming in motion. Smith goes up the middle, dives toward the goal line. He lost the ball. I'm not sure if he was down, if the ball came out. Still think it's going to be Viking ball.
Now watching the replay, the ball came out when it hit the ground as he was extending for the goal line. With Thompson out in the left slot inside of the flexed. Actually, that is, let's see now, direct snap, and have a legal formation here. Smith tried to punch it in the end zone. The official on the far side signaled a score, but the penalty flag came out at the snap. So you've either got Sac State lined up offside or an illegal formation on Portland State.
Well, dangerous to try to reach it out before you get to the goal line. He extended it. See what the penalty is. Could
have been 2-minute motion as well, and it will be offsides on Sacramento State. So wipe that off. A 1-yard touchdown run for Smith, and the Vikings are back within 2 scores.
Smith
into this game with a touchdown, 13-17 left in the game. With extra point, could cut it to 14. So plenty of time for the Vikings to possibly make a run.
And we got another injured Hornet face down just outside the end zone. So a lot of Sacramento State players get banged up in this game. And let's see now, that is one of the defensive linemen. That's Sincere Massey, whom we were just speaking of. He's now back up on his feet. You got to appreciate the patience the Vikings showed on that drive.
Well, the big key obviously was the pass play. Smith really hasn't thrown too many deep balls downfield, but again, a nice deep fade to the sideline and a good catch by Lavelle. So here it comes, and that's exactly what you want, just right on target. Lavelle, nice over-the-shoulder catch inside the 5-yard line. You saw the one-on-one coverage, so good ball by Smith. Is really first deep pass downfield today.
Ray Mays missed just one PAT on the season, and he will not miss this one.
Kick is good.
So Portland State back within 2 touchdowns.
Vikings 21.
It's 35-21 Sacramento State. The Vikings need that defense to get back to work. We'll break away from darkening Hillsborough Stadium. You're watching Big Sky Conference football on ESPN+. Vikings hanging around, 35-21 the score, 13-17 left, still a lot of time, but Sacramento State with that punishing ground game, busting a long run on their 2 scoring drives here in the second half. It was Rodney Hammond, 87 yards to set up a short score, and then a 41-yard touchdown run of his own. Again, it may come down to the Vikings needing at least one forced turnover to really have a realistic shot. Pooch kick taken at the 21-yard line. That is Smith. Does a little dance move and opens up a lane. Now pushing the pile out to the 45-yard line. Great job on the return by Jaquale Smith on the short kickoff.
Unfortunately, when you pooch bunny, you'd expect somebody that doesn't have the ability to really return the ball, but Smith with his speed and number 3 on the running back depth chart for the Hornets, able to field it, and nice job getting upfield and a little bit of power as well up to the 45-yard line.
Now, Sacramento State has definitely had the field position edge lately. Their previous drive starting at Portland State territory following the DeLon Thompson fumble forced by Micah Mosley. And this drive starting just on their side of the 50. A little shovel pass to Ernest Campbell. He's already got 2 touchdown receptions. Gets strung out to the sideline, but does pick up a chunk of positive yards. Spotted just to the Viking side of the 50 to the 49-yard line. Gain of 6.
Well, you think Campbell in motion to get him in space with a little pitch pass. He's able to turn the corner. Pierce Walker had a chance to make the tackle, able to avoid him. Eventually goes out of bounds, but still able to pick up 6.
Mentioned outstanding sprinter. He won a 2A state 100 meters title as a junior in high school, Refugio High School in Texas. Play fake. Williams forced out of the pocket. Now throwing back to the other side. That's a dangerous ball, and they're going to get bailed out. Deontay Thornton could not avoid making contact with the receiver Campbell.
I think he just slowed him up enough as they roll to the right side, throw back the other way. He was step for step from him, but just kind of lost track of the ball and where the receiver was. And right when the ball was about to arrive, he made contact while the ball was in the air, had to call the penalty.
Boy, that's the kind of pass you'd like to have a shot at picking off if you're Thornton, but he got caught behind in there. You put the brakes on and drew the easy flag. 18-yard penalty takes it down to the 34-yard line of the Vikings. And Portland State has been by far the more heavily penalized team today. Oh, looked like Hammond might be off to the races again, but trips up. Turf Monster appeared to get him. Just a couple of yards on the carry.
Amateur went down on the play. You get a huge hole again on the left side. Thought he's going to possibly have another big one upfield, but unfortunately, only to pick up 2. He just goes down on the play, and I didn't really see a Viking trip him up, so not sure what happened on that play.
2nd down, 8 to go. Sacramento State would love to chew up some clock. Hammond takes the carry again. No, it's a keeper for Williams, and he nearly busts free. Saving tackle by Karsten Mammerl. First time we've called his name today. He was all over last week's win for Portland State.
Yeah, he really hasn't kept it on that read option. He's pretty much just been handing it off, but that's the threat that he has on those read option plays. Almost able to bust for the touchdown. Just taken down by Mammerl to save the touchdown. A big gain inside the red zone to the 15-yard line. So that's the threat he is with his legs. With a really good job on that read option. This time keep it himself.
Mammerl just 2 games for the Vikings last year after transferring from Mount San Jacinto Community College. And has played cornerback and nickel this year. He's ascended into a starting position. Hammond on the carry, short yardage, about a yard to the 15-yard line. Under 11 minutes to go now. And if the Hornets can get in the end zone, they can likely put this game out of reach, barring a crazy finish. Jace Wilson in at receiver now. The tight end, Jordan Williams, lined up on the right side. He has not been targeted today. Henderson in the backfield. He'll take the carry, and look at Slade Schufelt flying in from the backside to wrap him up behind the line. This might be his best game in Portland State uniform.
That was a dead sprint around the defense end position, and is able to catch up with ball carrier Henderson, but not able to turn the corner. So again, Schufelt's been both defensive ends for the Vikings had excellent games. Elliott on the left side and Schufelt from the right.
Loss back to the 18-yard line. 3rd down and 14 to go for Sacramento State. And they're taking their time in the huddle now. They'll send Wilson out wide left. Campbell, the receiver, to the right side. 2 tight ends wing either side. And the play fake to Henderson. Throw over the middle, intended for Ontario Smith Jr. Bobbled and incomplete.
Yeah, Deontay Thornton came over the top and able to get his hand in there to knock it away. Is getting the little RPO, quick slant over the middle of the field, but Thornton was in good position, came over the top, and I did think he got his hand in there to knock that one away. So much better job. But Thornton, who got called for that previous interference penalty, come in and gets the breakup.
Of course, Ontario's dad played for the Oregon Green and Gold before moving on to the NFL as a running back. This will be a 36-yard field goal attempt from Metters. Plenty of leg, and this one is good. With 9:30 to go in the game, the lead is now 17 for Sacramento State. Hornets 38, Vikings 21. Back after this on ESPN+. 2 weeks this season before he was awarded the starting job, but still seems to be very much an open position. Kickoff taken to the 2-yard line by Crew Newman. Another good return by the redshirt freshman, 31 yards.
Crew Newman on the return.
Well, that was the big question coming into fall camp, was who's going to be eventually the starting quarterback. Dante Sachere, career at Portland State, is obviously the #1 the last 2 or 3 years for the Vikings. And then going into the season, again, that was a big question mark. There's a whole bunch of competition going into the fall. And actually, they did start Gate down in game 1 against Tarleton State, but he hasn't seen the field since.
C.J. Jordan starting week 2 at BYU, and then Chiave Soga-Politelli made his first start and was named the starting quarterback in week 3. But his last 2 home games have been struggles, benched in each.
And another, looks like, holding penalty possibly coming up on the Vikings because umpire again throws the flag.
Ron Thompson on the carry.
Actually, they're going to get a break, a face mask penalty.
Tack on 15 yards to the end of that 5-yard run.
Yeah, the Vikings been on the wrong end of the penalties this afternoon.
See if we can get a look at this as Thompson in the crowd, and umpire clearly had a better view. Oh, Crew Newman wiped out behind the line on the keeper by the quarterback Smith. That'll happen sometimes when you're the decoy. You'll take that shot.
Late flight comes in after the tackle, downfield, right where the ball carrier Smith will tackle him.
Smith picked up 13 yards. And another penalty against Sac State here. Under face mask. So back-to-back face mask penalties, and just like that, the Vikings are inside the 20-yard line. This game is not over, folks.
Well, yeah, especially if you can get the quick touchdown here. Mosley just absolutely blew up Newman. Sometimes the defender is just going to go for one guy and not knowing who's going to get the ball. You're just guessing, and Newman took the front of it. Smith able to big carry upfield and with the penalty all the way inside the red zone to the 19.
Newman in motion. They run against the motion, but Thompson turned back and cannot fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a couple.
Again, they get the penetration from Gillespie. He's one that blew up the play, not able to make the tackle. But forced Thompson to circle back the other way. He's going to lose two. So Gillespie, 6'3", 318-pound senior, has definitely been a force on that inside.
Thompson now 22 carries, 76 yards rushing on the day. Vikings with 170 yards on the ground. Quick toss by Smith, near side Lavelle on the reception. Hit by Ricky Lee. And his forward progress is stopped after a gain of about 7 to the 15-yard line.
Just a quick hit pattern to the right side, able to make the catch, but not able to get upfield. Pretty well defended by the Hornets on the outside. And blow them dead about the 14-yard line, so bring about third and about 5 for the Vikings.
Sixth catch of the day for the redshirt junior receiver, and that puts him over 100 yards. Two long receptions, setting up Viking scores for Terrence Lavelle. His best day in a Viking uniform. And on 3rd and 6, Smith back to throw. Avoids pressure. Oh, he had Lavelle inside the 5, but off-balance throw at his feet incomplete. And the Vikings will go for it on 4th and 6.
And actually, he missed him twice. He was open on the quick slant immediately. Didn't see him. Kicks out of the pocket. Thought he's going to take it up. I think he would have been able to beat the defender upfield with his speed, but the last second pulled it out and just missed on Lavelle. That's a tough throw going across your own body. Now, for the Vikings, they're going to kick the field goal, so you're going to try to get down to 2-possession game. So, a lot of ways I kind of agree with this because you need the points.
3 scores is 3 scores. So whether you get a touchdown or a field goal, it's still going to be a 2-score game. If you're able to convert, this is a 31-yard field goal, and it is good just inside the left upright.
Hornets 38,
so
Vikings
Uribe
24.
Able to convert. He's now 11 of 14 on the season. And the Vikings are within 14 with 7-4 score game, 2 touchdowns. Sacramento State lead. Still enough time on the clock. We don't need to think about an onside kick if you're Portland State. Defense is going to have to make some plays for the Vikings. Have a chance to get back into this.
Sac State's playing like they think an onside kick is coming. They have 8 guys, 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, but I think the Vikings kick this one away.
Only one man back and not very deep. And Uribe will boot the ball back to the 10-yard line. It's Campbell on the receiving end. You don't want to get him ahead of steam. And he's run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. A couple of miscues on special teams for Sacramento State today, but otherwise good showing. Set him up with decent field position here with 7:08 left. And expect this ball to stay on the ground as they try and chew that clock out.
Yeah, ball security #1 for Sacramento State. Try to grind out a few first downs. Of course, Portland State used their timeouts. Obviously, the Vikings need the quick 3 and out to get the ball back and still have a chance. So, see if the Hornets can put this game away.
Campbell went out the 31-yard line. Pistol formation. Williams has gone the distance at quarterback. Quick fake, throw over the middle, and the first catch of the day for Jordan Anderson. He makes a couple of men miss. He's got himself a big play. Now with a block from Wilson, could spring him, but he'll be run out of bounds by Pierce Walker inside the Portland State 20-yard line. Another explosive play for this Sacramento State go offense.
Well, that was very similar to the Campbell 65-yard touchdown pass. It was just a fake, quick quick hitch pattern right in the middle of the field, able to make the catch. Pierce just whiffed on making the tackle. It allowed the receiver, Anderson, to get upfield, and all of a sudden circle to the outside, use his speed all the way to the Viking 19.
60-yard gain on the play. First down and 10 at the Viking 19-yard line. Hammond with another big day, another big hole up the middle, another Sacramento State touchdown. 19 yards for Rodney Hammond Jr.
Takes him 2 plays into the end zone, so just goes right through the Viking defense for the touchdown. Hammond, another touchdown for him, and again, just an unbelievable last 2 days for him. Finishes off with a touchdown, barely even touched on the play, and Sacramento State putting this game away.
And he will have back-to-back 200-yard rushing games for Sacramento State. That puts him at 210 yards on the day.
Brett Meadors to attempt the kick.
Check that, 191 rushing yards for Rodney Hammond Jr. on 17 carries. The PAT good by Meadors, and it is now a 21-point lead with 6:22 left. Well, the lights are on in the stadium, but the lights are off pretty much for Portland State for a win today at home.
Yeah, they need this, need the stop. You need the 3 now, and only take Sacramento State.
Well, we referenced this a couple of times. There's Brennan Marion, no longer sporting the cowboy hat headset. Look, I thought he looked pretty sharp, to be honest with you. But he got hit in the pocketbook pretty hard for comments about officiating 2 weeks ago. And really, he was responding to comments made by the school president that referred to FCS football as JV football, somewhat critical of the conference. And Marion felt like maybe the team was getting punished for these comments by the team president, and got hit hard by the conference, fined $10,000. But in the last 2 games, the penalties have dropped off dramatically. They were averaging over 8 penalties a game.
Fireball teeing up the football for Sacramento State.
In fact, their average on the season matched Portland State's season high in penalties and yards. But the last 2 weeks, it's been a different story. So maybe the comments actually paid off for him. I don't know if they were worth 10 grand, but it rolls out the back of the end zone. And frankly, I don't know what the school president is doing, making these kind of comments and trash talking other schools. It seems to me they'd have other things to do.
Well, sometimes you just get caught up in the moment, you get a frustrating loss, and all of a sudden you say something that somebody puts a microphone in your face, you just start saying whatever comes to your mind, not even thinking about the consequences, and that's what happens.
There's some interesting back and forth banter between the Montana Grizzlies and the Hornets a couple of weeks ago. Montana head coach calling the Sacramento State president, Luke Wood, a clown. And Xavier Williams, haven't called his name yet today, but he will sack Tyree Smith back at the 20-yard line, a loss of 5 yards.
Well, Smith flushed out of the pocket, looking, and it seems like when he goes to his left, it's such a tough throw to possibly throw it across your body. Nobody open downfield, and just more or less had to take the sack near the Sacramento State sideline.
You do see a different swagger, though, at Sacramento State these days. They're taking some big swings, bringing in Shaquille O'Neal as the basketball GM, hiring Mike Bibby as the head basketball coach. They're angling for FBS football, petitioning the NCAA to move up. They'll move to the Big West Conference for other sports beginning next year. And that makes sense for them because they do have baseball there. You know, baseball, for the most part, in the Big Sky. I think only one other Big Sky school has a baseball program. Quick toss, it's the slot man Newman, makes an inside move, breaks a tackle, spins out of another, and he's gathered in near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that play defines why you have him on the field. He makes the catch, he made that quick little spin away from the linebacker, able to get upfield, spun off another defender, so it makes a big play. So that's why you got Newman, who's obviously the quarterback in high school, but he's a playmaker.
One thing we haven't seen today are double pass plays. The Vikings have utilized some trick plays the last couple of weeks. A lot of these guys with quarterback experience. Great hustle sack there. Hampston with his second sack of the day.
You didn't think he'd be able to get there. Smith flushed out of the pocket, went off to the right side of Hampton in hot pursuit and just able to bring him down by the ankles. So just great job. He just dove and just able to trip him up. So just a great play. And again, Hampton's been forced on that left defensive end position.
Sacramento State basketball will move out of the Hornets' nest and play their games at the Kings Arena going forward. Speaking of basketball, time to get excited about Portland State hoops. This is the best team they've had in years. And one publication, Blue Ribbon Sports, essentially picked them to win the conference. They had them slotted second, but with a caveat, and that caveat was the eligibility of Trevon Minot, who was awarded an extra year by the NCAA. And the Vikings returned 3 all-conference players, and they make up half of the preseason all-conference basketball team. Impressive showing Tuesday night down at Stanford in a 10-point opening loss. Foul trouble costing the Vikings in that one. Different officiating crew, maybe a different outcome. They weren't challenged last night against Northwest Indian College, but this team's going to be a force in the Big Sky Conference this year and very entertaining to watch. Long and very, very athletic.
Yeah, Jason's reloaded the roster, and again, the Vikings should be a contender. I think Sacramento State's going to be an upper division team as well, so we'll see what Mike Bibby can do with this program. So they're basically all in my book.
You bring a Shaquille O'Neal and a Mike Bibby, and that's going to help recruiting, no doubt about that. Vikings turn the ball over on downs, and this game is in the books. 21-point lead for Sac State, looking to tack on more, and they may do it on the first play. Sam Adams just tripped up before he can get to the end zone.
Well, Helmstettler more or less saved the touchdown, but he just weaved his way through traffic. He's your number 4 back, but pretty good number 4, and almost able to get the touchdown. Just tripped up around the 2.
Well, this is a deep backfield with a talented athletic quarterback and a veteran offensive line, and they continue to chew up yardage, up to 462 yards of offense, 274 on the ground in this one. And there's Adams with the touchdown from 3 yards out.
Hornets keep adding on with the touchdown run, and the Vikings not able to pick up the first down. A couple plays later in the end zone. So a lot of quick strikes today for this Hornet offense.
Backup quarterback in there now for Sacramento State. It was Luke Sprague, actually. He is not even listed on the depth chart. The backup quarterback on the depth chart is a freshman, Jamar Malone. And you kind of wonder about Jaden Rashada, who came in with a lot of hype after stops at a couple of different schools. Well-publicized NIL snafu at the University of Florida, leading to a lawsuit. He was at Georgia last year before transferring to Sacramento State. Opening day starter for the Hornets, but ineffective in those first 2 weeks and slipped off the depth chart. Here's a kid that had millions and millions of dollars thrown at him, and you just kind of wonder about the insanity of modern day college sports and how long this can continue.
Wild West show.
Well, the Vikings are excited to be back in their former home, Providence Park, the suburbs for Viking football. But very excited. Their first home game at Providence Park since the 2019 season.
Game for the Vikings.
Newman will allow this ball to bounce into the end zone. 3:35 left, and this will be a Hornets victory. Their 6th of the year against 4 losses. Their playoff hopes still very much alive.
Oh, yeah, they've got a big game against Idaho next week, then to finish it out. And like I was saying previously, that could come down to maybe the last spot for a Big Sky team is that last game at Cal Davis to get in the playoffs. They'd have to take care of business. Pretty good Idaho team, and again, Thomas Ford has taken over for Jason Eck. So they're going to have a couple tough games, but again, they keep their hopes alive. And like I said, also is that a very regrettable loss. Losing Cal Poly at home early in this Big Sky season could cost them the playoffs.
Smith appears to play out the string at quarterback, getting pressure and just has to throw that one away. That one thrown in the direction of Chance Miller. We saw Andre Miller limp off the field earlier. Chance Miller, the wide receiver, his first target of the day. And this is a Viking wide receiver unit that has really been banged up this year, but that's been, seems like a yearly issue for this team. Injuries in the wide receiver core. Chance, another local product out of Canby High School. Running play stayed up the middle and just a few yards there. A little pushing and shoving, not much after the play. Both these teams have played pretty well composed today.
Well, J.L. McLaughlin gave a two-handed shove to the Portland offensive line, gave him business.
Oh, you know, a week after Jaden Daniels goes down with that brutal arm injury, and actually all indications are he could come back very soon from that, remarkably. I don't know why you've got some of these guys still out here with the Vikings down 4 touchdowns in less than 3 minutes to go. Still a lot of starters on the field. Down goes Smith again. Taken down back near the 20-yard line. Still have not seen a carry by any of the backup running backs. Heron, Bottletto, Birdsell, Avery. It's been all DeLon Thompson.
Yeah, pretty much when you got to this point after their last touchdown, you thought the white flag would be flown and just more or less put in the backups and give them some reps.
Big Malik Tullis with that sack. He's been getting more playing time of late. Deep rotation on this defensive line for Sacramento State. 5'11", 294-pound junior transfer, one of a pair of transfers out of Eastern Michigan into the program. Pretty good day punting the football, except for one shank out of bounds by Johnson. And this will take a good Vikings roll. Finally coming to rest at the 27-yard line of Sac State. Well, we mentioned Montana winning a squeaker earlier today, just sneaking out with a victory against Eastern Washington. Home game today. We'll take our final timeout. Look at the Big Sky Conference scoreboard. The 2-minute timeout. Sacramento State, minute 52 from victory. Leading Fishing Center in Hillsboro, Oregon. Final 2 minutes of play, and Sprague in at quarterback for his second series for Sacramento State. They've gone to second stringers. And the first carry of the day. Let's see, who was that? Not on my travel roster, apparently. Was that number 43?
That's 48. It says JoJo Solis, but this is a safety.
Well, okay. .48, JoJo Solis on the roster, listed as a defensive player. And no announcement from the PA either.
Lonnie Bird on the stop.
But the carry out to the 23-yard line as the final seconds tick down here. Portland State will drop to 1-9. Final home game next week against Montana at Providence Park, and then off to Northern Colorado to close out the 2025 campaign. Both these teams will end the year on the road. As the annual Causeway Classic game could be humongous for both teams. UC Davis and Sac State.
Again with the tackle.
I think it's, like I said, I think Montana State are pretty much locks to make the playoffs. Davis and Sacramento State right up there, so hard to know if they're going to take 3 or 4 teams, but again, that could be the last game.
Well, that is Solis, so he's playing on offense. Some of the other finals today, Northern Arizona. Actually, that game in progress, 35-10 lead over Northern Colorado midway through the third. Idaho State early in the third quarter, leading Cal Poly 21-7. Montana State breezing past Weber State, 66-14 today. And then Montana with that 29-24 win over Eastern Washington. How about that finish today between Indiana and Penn State? I'm a huge Kurt Signetti fan, and they barely squeak one out over the Nittany Lions.
Unbelievable touchdown, Cass, in the back of the end zone. The last seconds for Indiana to win that game. They're on 24-20, drove it down there at third down through in the end zone, and the kid making an unbelievable tightrope out in the back of the end zone. Thought he's possibly out of bounds, but he did get 1 foot in, and that was the clinching touchdown to stay undefeated.
Hornets calling a timeout before they take the final snap on 4th down and 5. What do you do here? Do you try and run out the
you
9
need it,
seconds? Or are you going to give the Vikings the ball and a chance to run a play?
Well, they're just going to.
Now, this, you know.
Just let them, don't tackle them.
You're just asking for trouble here. And credit to the Vikings for not teeing off. They'll just let the final seconds tick away. Both these teams played with good sportsmanship today. And that's it. Hornets win it. 52-24 the final. And they moved to 6-4. Keep their conference record to 4-2. Vikings dropped to 1-9 with 2 games remaining in the season. Vikings hung around for a while, but too many big plays for Sacramento State.
Yeah, a lot of big explosion chunk plays for Sacramento State. Needed to take care of business to keep the playoff hopes alive, and they pretty much went wire to wire. The Vikings made a couple runs at them in the first half, able to cut the lead down to 21-14 at halftime, but eventually Sacramento State able to get the lead back to 2 touchdowns and pretty much just kept Portland State at arm's length. Like I said, a lot of big explosion plays. Rodney Hammond, another monstrous game, close to 200 yards, and eventually pulled away and a comfortable win for them. So again, keeping the playoff hopes alive.
191 on the ground for Hammond, part of a 295-yard rushing effort, and will hit the road here to close out the season. Portland State at Northern Colorado. Time to hit the road, presented by